Welcome to the Diverge podcast, presented by Squirt Cycling Products. Stage 5 of the 2026 Absa Cape Epic was a dramatic day. There was a new winner in the women's race. The She Sends Foundation, Courtney and Greta Seiwald, won their first stage, outfoxing Candice, Lill and Alessandra Keller, though Keller was not happy with some of the race tactics that Seiwald and Courtney perpetrated, used out there on the trails. And a little bit behind that, Rosa van Doorn sadly crashed out of the race and had to be taken to hospital for stitches in her knee. So it's very sad news for the Buff BH Efficient Infiniti team. Men's race, Canyon won their second stage of the race, their first team to win 2 stages of this year's race in the men's race. And they were followed across the line by Wilier Vittoria's Simone, Avondetto and Luca Braidot, the yellow jersey wearers, who managed to put another 26 seconds into Toyota Specialized Imbuko's Matt Beers and Tristan Nortje after Nortje struggled on the final climb and a little bit more so perhaps on the final descent into Middle Plot. In the women's race, there was 66 kilometers of racing, starting in Greyton and joining up with the route to take on the climb to the first bench, and then in the mix the whole way through the rest of the stage. And it was fiercely competitive. Courtney used the tactics that they tried the day before on the open road stage and managed to box in Alessandra Keller and Candice a couple of times. Keller was getting frustrated by the on-off nature of the racing and confessed later that she struggles a bit with that and would prefer a consistent pace throughout. The going hard, going slow and then attacking from slow does not suit her at all. And she found it very, very frustrating. But that is also racing. If you can control the race, you do control the race. And everybody has to race to your tactics. What maybe isn't so great is some dangerous overtaking moves, sort of dive bombing into single tracks, which there was implications of. Didn't really see anything on the live coverage, but that was also because the e-bike with Jesse Nixon on it got caught up a little bit behind and stopped to help out with Rosa van Doorn's crash. The former Dutch and European marathon champion had lost her front wheel, sort of a innocuous-looking corner, innocuous-looking crash, not at massively high speed, but hit her face, chipped her front teeth, and then also smashed her knee open. Not sure if that was on the bike that she cut herself, but a really bad wound on the knee, which required multiple stitches, and she was actually medevaced out to Vergelegen Mediclinic in Somerset West for stitches and for dental surgery. So really heartbreaking for Rosa van Doorn, who came into the race so strong and had some pretty rotten luck with that day of punctures where they lost a lot of time, lost their third place on the general classification, and then we're fighting back when she crashed on stage 4. So it's very sad news, and we wish her all the best for a speedy recovery and a return to racing form in time for some races. The European races, the Euro Series in the European summer is a big goal for her. She's the defending series champion there, so really hope that she's back in time to participate there, to race there, to defend that series title. Up front on the trails, that's the tactics of Courtney eventually came good on the final descent, making use of Greta Seiwald's absolutely incredible descending skills. Courtney managed to jump ahead of Lill and Keller on the final descent and let Seiwald get away, held up already, but she doesn't need much invitation to descend at breakneck speeds, but with Courtney blocking behind her, Seiwald managed to get well clear up the road, take a healthy lead into the dual track section, running into the finish line. And with that, Courtney was pretty confident that she would be able to outsprint at least one of the Thömus Maxon Sabi Sabi team. And in fact, she managed to outsprint both of them. And gave the She Sends Foundation their first stage victory of the race. Sets it up interestingly for stage 5, gives Courtney and Seiwald a lot of confidence. Seeing, it kind of depends on what type of person you are. If you get motivation out of getting underneath your rival's skin like that, there's definitely people that do. And so knowing that they've gotten to Keller psychologically might give them a bit of an advantage there going into tomorrow. It'll be interesting to watch. Big stage in the women's race, not 103 kilometers, just under 100 kilometers and 2,150 meters of climbing. So a really big day in the women's race, all the way from Beaumont Wines to Stellenbosch. So I think that is going to be the proving ground of who will win this year's Absa Cape Epic Elite Women's title. Candice is confident. She was calm, as she so often is in stressful situations, and it's one of the things that I have been very lucky to have witnessed throughout career in journalism, is seeing Candice develop as an athlete and as a mature person with many life skills way beyond cycling. I think often we're very guilty of putting too much emphasis on the sporting aspect and not the human aspect. And I think Candice is one of those athletes that not so much vocally, but more through actions, likes to remind or can remind people that the human side is often more important than it is just a bike race. And you can, if you see the funny side of things, it's often a better way to take it than to get it all worked up about something that resulted in 2 seconds in and the loss of a stage victory. It's not really important in the bigger scheme of things. So going into stage 5 on Friday, Lill and Keller still have a very, very healthy lead, 4 minutes and 50 seconds. But anything can happen. I put it to Candice that maybe is the time to lead from the front and try to put in a more dominant ride. And this is what she had to say.
Candice, after today's activities, do you think
Antics.
that maybe the way to go tomorrow is to put the hammer down a little bit earlier and just get out front on your own?
Well, yeah, I think often the stage really dictates how the racing goes. So yeah, today was I always knew it was going to be really difficult to get away. There's too many places in between that neutralizes it. But yeah, I mean, in my opinion, today wasn't a day to make huge time. I think tomorrow is a massive day on the bike, and I think we're going to have to look for places to get away.
And have you taken some advice from Tyler about running down Hunter Path?
I'd forgotten actually that we have to run down there. Yeah, Tyler really sent it down there. I think maybe tomorrow I'll take it a little bit easier. I don't want to kill my legs for the days to come.
In the men's race, it was once again a very fast and frenetic stage with lots of crashes in the early part of the race. The first 22 kilometers or 25 kilometers or so were marred by crashes. Mark Pritson, the stage winner from stage 3, had a big crash, broke his handlebars, had to limp it into the tech zone. Fortunately, it was right there, really, when it happened, only a couple of kilometers from the tech zone. And then Sam Gaze had a major puncture as well that took 3 plugs to repair and at least 2 stops to bomb it before they managed to get it fixed. They had to chase back again, as they have done quite a few times already this week. They still had lots of firepower, however, made it back to the group. In the group were Climatizi Orbea, Buff BH, the yellow jersey wearers, Simone Avondetto and Luca Braidot of Wilier Vittoria, and of course Toyota Specialized Imbuko, Matt Beers and Tristan Nortje. They're pushing the tempo on the climb. Wout Alleman was hungry to move up on the general classification. They had been in third at the end of stage 4. They were in fourth at the end of stage 4, and were looking to move up. And Wout Alleman put the pace on the UFO climb, the major climb of the day, the final climb of the day. Managed to get a bit of a gap, but he had been struggling with his brakes from earlier in the stage. Had gone soft, and on the descent he overcooked a corner slightly, went down, held up Tristan Nortje, who was caught behind him. Matt Beers went off in pursuit of Wilier Vittoria, and Sam Gaze and Luca Schwarzbauer also caught up. Gaze and Schwarzbauer were able to bridge across, however, while Tristan Nortje was not able to do so, couldn't match the firepower of the cross-country races on the descent to middle class and on the couple of little kickers. On that descent, there's one particularly nasty kicker, and it was there that Gaze and Braidot managed to force their way past the South African, and they managed to bridge across to the yellow jersey wearers, and then once again outsprinted them coming into the finish line. Behind them, Matt Beers did his best again to limit the time losses to just 26 seconds. And all things considered, it's not a bad outcome at all. Canyon leapfrog up from 5th to 3rd as a result, because Wout Alleman had to take it very easy down the descent, and Climatizi Orbea also lost some time there on that final descent with a puncture. So the Canyon now, Sam Gaze and Lucas Schwarzbauer in the lead. Got to think what their race would look like if they hadn't have lost. They lost 6 minutes. That can't be true, because they've had sprint finishes. They lost the 5 minutes basically that they are behind the leaders. Was all time lost on stage 1, and they struggled with punches there, and Schwarzbauer struggled with the heat as well. So they find themselves a little bit behind, but the team most eager to make the racing at this point, it seems, Avondetto and Braidot are happy to take a little bit of a back seat. And this is what Simone Avondetto said after another second place, their 4th second place of the race.
Looks like you've been controlling your efforts very well so far this week. Not really on the limits too much. That accurate, or are you just good at hiding when you are suffering?
A bit both. No, we try to not to waste energy, because it's a long week. So we always try to stay in the front group, but to avoid risk, but don't spend too much energy. But yeah, of course, like today on the last climb was just an all out, I guess, for everyone. So it was still a quite hard stage.
In yellow now for the second day going into tomorrow, but missing out on the stage win again. That's obviously a big goal for the coming days now.
Yeah, for sure. We would like to get a win, but our main goal is for sure try to keep this yellow jersey. So, but yeah, we will try our best to try to win a stage.
Gained a few more seconds again today, and you can maybe see some chinks in the armor in the rivals.
Yeah, we gained just a few seconds, but I think it doesn't make a big difference, because there is still 3 long stages, quite hard, and everything can happen. And we just open a little gap, so in the climb, at one point, but yeah, we were all going all out, so not a big difference.
For Beers and Nortje, you feel momentum is a bit against them. The efforts of those two big chasers perhaps catching up to Tristan Nortje. He said his legs felt good, but the kick of the cross country races is his problem. He needs a sustained effort, and those punchy climbs were a problem for him. The longer, it's not really, Western Cape mountain biking. There's not really that many long climbs like the Merino Monster that really suits Tristan. He, most of the climbs are, a few minutes or 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, even maybe. Whereas he likes that really long effort. The Absa Cape Epic doesn't present a climb like that in this year's race, even though has got a bit longer climbs than last year, perhaps. So, it's a difficult one. I think tomorrow is going to tell there if Nortje is going to be able to, help Beers towards, working back some of that time lost. They are now just under 2 minutes down on the general classification, behind Avondetto and Braidot. So it's that time now of the race where you feel it's going to reveal who the eventual winner is going to be. And as a South African, you really wish that it is Matt Beers and Tristan Nortje. And you hope against hope that they can turn around their misfortune and also their momentum that's currently swung against them. But the trails will tell tomorrow. And stay tuned to find out how the racing unfolds at the Absa Cape Epic. Thank you for listening.